Into action from day 4 at the Winter Olympics. The first period is over, so we're taking a look at the highlights of this game between the USA and the Slovak Republic. The Americans struck first. Lazaro let go a slap shot on the left wing, and that makes it 1-0 at 10:23. A power play goal for the Americans. And it really was a fast, furious first period.
Both teams going up and down the ice at an incredible pace. Lazaro, the speedy left winger who played hockey with the Ottawa Senators for most of last season, lets this one go, and he puts the U.S. on the scoreboard first.
Hартманn in goal for Slovakia, and Garth Snow, the Quebec draft pick, is between the pipes for the Americans. It really was a physical period. Excellent passing from the Slovaks, as you would expect. Kolnick comes in and lets the shot go. Snow perhaps not really set on this one. He fell down on the pads. The puck went underneath. 13:55 gone in the period, and it's level.
The Slovaks, with their own job of moving the puck around nicely, come down, work it around. It ends up on the stick of Ludomir Kolnick, who makes no mistake. A good shot for him.
This is where you can see the goaltender. The camera moves over. Keep your eye on the stick. There must have been a hole in it. Pads not together. And Kolnick collects his first goal of the game. Lots of action at both ends of the rink, as we said. And both goaltenders tested to their limits. The teams are sitting it out now between the periods. And we're going to come back in a moment with the live action. We're just watching the first period wind down. Lazaro had a couple of chances for the Americans and was only able to put one of them away. Well, that's the end of the highlight package. We're going to take a short break, but join us in a moment. We're going to come back with the live action from Gьевик. Welcome back. We are live now, and the Americans playing from right to left. This is live action. We ran over the face-off with our highlights, but we now join the second period live. The Americans on the attack. The puck flipped into the corner. Hартманn in goal. That comes right out front, and the tap down doesn't work with Lilly. Coming back on the attack is number 29, Dano. Dano squeezed wide, and Snow leaves that behind the net. Tapped up by Richter as far as the blue line. Palfi backhands it along the boards. The Slovaks really have impressed a lot of people. A break now. Snow comes well out of his target. He's out in no man's land, and that hits the side of the net.
Close call for the Americans. They're going to have to get it together defensively a little better. The goaltender and the defensemen are going to have to watch the communication.
Sekerash feeds that up to the blue line. And some great stuff. Palfi feeds that through, and the shot comes.
That is a good save by Gar Snow to keep his stick on the ice. He went with the shot well, getting himself sorted out after a near miss a minute ago. Slovaks on the move. Good coverage by the Americans, but the shot is taken. Snow stays right with it and holds on for a face-off.
Face-off in American territory. That goes behind the goal, and the Americans now settle themselves down and start it up on the wing. A long clearance up to Johnson. Johnson again hits the red line, throws it back into the American defensive position, and the defense move up. 2:27 gone on the period. Crowley flips it in for the Americans. Going in a hurry is Marcin. Marcin pops it to the right side. Laviolette gets it in there, and Hартманn bobbles it.
Hартmann showing how quick he is, getting on top of that as the Americans were buzzing around in front of him. Todd Marchant with a good shift. Puck is thrown back to Laviolette at the blue line. Laviolette has time, takes a wrist shot that goes through a crowd. It's off the deflector glove of Hartmann. He's got an eye on it, has to go and get it though, as the Americans are trying to stay in his way and keep the puck alive.
Some good defensive stuff there from Svela, who cleared the opposition away from the front of the net. Svela drags it around and then leaves it off on the puck boards, and the Slovaks bring it up slowly. Long pass into neutralized territory, and that's tipped away. A chance now for Janos. Janos was beaten to it by Gar Snow. The Americans being beaten to the puck here in the second period, with the Slovaks coming up with some good stuff. Svela fed that through to Janos, but the Americans now back on the attack. Bacsa ties his man up along the boards, and Campbell tries to work a three. Campbell goes in and misses a check on the near side. Dano through the circle. The poke check comes in. Roberts getting away with that as it goes deep. Snow rattles that off the woodwork, and it goes the distance.
The game continuing at the pace that it was played at during the first period. Both teams getting quick changes. There's a lot of ice. We're seeing a few long passes, just not connecting yet. The guys are really getting the legs going though, so we'll see the two line offsides and the icings until it settles down a little more.
In their first game, the Americans outshot the French, but could only tie them after 60 minutes at 4 goals apiece. The Slovaks had a similar result against Sweden. 3:30 gone in the second period. This one is tied at 1 apiece. Going in quickly there was Plavuka, and it didn't work for him. Now pushed over to Sutton on the red line. Tap forward, and the Slovaks with Sutton coming in, taking the shot. That deflects into the corner, and again it's pushed in. Sutton goes after it. Howard delivers that up to the hash marks, and the Americans throw a couple of passes together. Chiviaglia. Nice little move back on the D as Richter got away from his man. Lilly right in front. A shot is high, but Hartmann throws together some acrobatics and comes up with a save. Hartmann now picks up a stick that was lying in the crease. The Americans try to get it back into the corner, and they do. Some good passing from the Americans, Rolston in particular. Chivaglia is being tied up by Burrow, and we'll have a face-off. Some good short passes by the Americans as they try to turn the Slovaks inside out.
Good grinding action from the American forwards. Shot coming at Hartmann. That's never an easy one for a goaltender to handle. It's high off the deflector glove.
.28-year-old Edward Hartmann, who played on the Czechoslovakian national team during the World Championships in 1990. Out there now for the Slovaks. Stasny in the face-off.
Peter Stasny, the veteran leader of the Slovakian team, has made a lot of comments in the press about how proud he is to finally play for his homeland. He's played for Czechoslovakia, and he played for Canada in the Canada Cup. He's now with his Slovakian mates, hoping to do the impossible as far as the Slovakians are concerned, win this gold medal.
Marcinko taps it through. Coming in right on goal, and Snow goes down. Stasny's there. Snow was all over the place, and the Americans were in trouble. Lazaro has that taken off his stick, and this line with Dano out there doing some damage. Bopped off the boards, all the way back. 6. Marcinko takes a shot. Snow went down. That comes back to the blue line, and it's cleared away. Beaufait unable to get the stick to it to keep it moving down the ice. And the Slovaks came into this competition as an unknown quantity, but everybody's talking about them now. Ергus Bacsa, rink-wide pass. Smерчак and Bacsa working on the D. Bacsa now comes up on the backhand side. He'll flip that in. Snow comes out, leaves it. Crowley has that bounce off his skate, and there is a definite breakdown in communications between the goalie and the defense. The Americans coming in on the attack. A chance for Ferraro as he tries to poke it through and get the shot away. A break now coming quickly for 22 Konsek. taken off the puck. The Americans go for a change, throw the puck around in their own zone. Pass up on the wing is a nice one. A chance for Marchant. Marchant goes in. Hartmann is there.
Hartmann coming up big. Todd Marchant is an absolute speedster. He's the fastest guy on this team. Watch him go. A couple of strides. This guy is off and running. Right in on top of Hartmann. Hartmann comes up big. Marchant got in so close that he really didn't have any place to put the puck.
Bachia and Medržič are chasing from either side, but they can't get to him.
What a pair of wheels on this guy. He can really go, Marchant.
From the face-off, the Americans pushing it into the hash marks, and the Slovaks get it out only as far as Johnson. Johnson moves along the boards. He's pushed into the plexi. Petrovica goes in and then decides to wait for the pass. That didn't come. A long clearance goes down the ice, and the officials say no, so the Americans keep it going. The pass from Himes up on the wing. Svela looking to hit Petrovica. Himes taken out of the play. The Americans along the boards with Smерchak getting the tip, and the whistle blows. A fast old game here. 1-1 the score. Lazaro for USA. Kolnick for Slovakia. Almost as many draftees on the Slovak side as on the American side. We've got Otto Hasek, who's drafted by Boston. Satin by Edmonton. Konsek by Washington. We'll go through the rest a little later on, but they really have a lot of serious hockey players out there. Richter. Pass to the neutral zone. Bachia got in there and broke that one down before it got started. Big hit by Ергуш Bachia. Played some 10 games in the National Hockey League in Hartford. Both teams now settling down for this face-off. Seems to be taking a while with snow throwing a little water on the top of his crease, and the officials will come in now with the puck. Rub it down, make it nice and smooth, and presto, an ice rink. Earlier on today, the Swedes finally found their form and beat the Italians 4-1, and the Swedes growing in confidence as this competition goes on. The Italians outplayed for most of the game, but hung on in there. Right now it's Slovakia against USA. Stop-start affair out there. They went through the first period very, very quickly indeed, but things seem to be interrupting the flow.
The game has changed a little bit since the start of the second period. They came out in the second just like they had played the first 20 minutes, fast and up and down the ice. Now it's gone more into a man-to-man game. Like you said, Paul, more stopping and starting. Pass is not quite clicking right now.
Stasny gets that back. Marcinko being shadowed by Campbell. Marcinko's pass goes up on the wing, and that doesn't come out of the zone. Big shot goes off a skate and bounces into neutral ice territory. The Americans doubling back. Some good motion from the Americans. Sekerash takes his man out of the play and breaks that up before it starts. Brett Hauer. Hauer passes through the middle, and Marcinko breaks it up again. Stasny wanted that pass, and it was directed in the wrong direction. Chasing is Drury. Campbell tried to get a stick on it, intercepted there by Richter. Both teams playing some tight checking in the neutral zone. Long shot. Campbell got a piece of it. Hauer goes way back. Brett Hauer feeds it right up through the middle. Offside is the call as Roberts brought it over.
One move too many by Dave Roberts right at the blue line, throwing his right winger offside. Americans are right in the middle of a line change anyway. No damage. The face-off will be just outside of the Slovakian end of the ice.
Another excellent crowd to see a hockey game in Norway. They really are turning out in their numbers. Hasak leaves it there for Sekerash. Sekerash through the circle and intercepted just on the American side of the red line as it pumped in. Chiavaglia taken out of the play. Sekerash big hit on Medrek, and the Americans with a chance, and that deflects away. Medrek up over the blue, and the Slovaks settle it down as Medrek gets the return pass up onto the wing. Dano tapped it through. Crowley runs into a brick wall. Chiavaglia gives it back to Crowley. Crowley looking to play it off the boards, and he does, but that doesn't work, and here comes Hasak. Hasak, good stuff from the Americans. Hasak tried to get the pass over. He still has the puck. And again, it's taken off his stick, but again, he gets it back, and that's batted away. Tenacious or what? Otto Hasak is one heck of a player. This guy never stops.
We've said quite a bit about Hasak, but this guy just doesn't stop. He keeps going, causes a lot of problems. He's an excellent forechecker, and he's got a good touch with the puck, an excellent playmaker. Hasak causing problems around the front of the goal. The Americans put in a situation where he had to be taken out. The puck came right back in towards Snow. Crowley guilty of cross-checking. The Americans will be shorthanded for 2 minutes.
Bokharov, the Russian referee, really hasn't had a lot to do in this period, but he's forced into action. Imes. Svella wants it back at the blue. The second swipe at it by Imes, and Svella puts it into the top of the slot. Now the Slovaks set it up. Svella races over, but he's not going to get to that. A break is on now, and Hartmann comes way out of his net to clear it away. Janos taps it forward. Excellent skating there by Beaufait. Beaufait, a good penalty killer, and that's why he's out there. Imes is doing a job too on the far side. And from in front of the net, the Americans try to get it out. Beaufait struggles. Svella. Janos. Svella. Janos again. Back to Svella. Big shot comes in. That goes off the plexi. Petrovishka and Palfi working together. Lazaro along the boards, and the Americans get it away. Deep into Slovak territory. Smерчак. Smерchak leaves it. Still a power play situation. Crawley in the box. Hasak back on the ice. Hasak throws it up on the right wing. Svella calls for it at the blue and gets it and dumps it back in again. Konsek lost control of it, and the Americans break out with Lilly doing some great stick handling and moving in the neutral zone. Lilly killing off a lot of this power play by the Slovaks. Some good chasing there by Hendrickson.
The American forwards are very quick. They've got good legs. They will cause trouble for teams if they don't keep moving on their power play. Guys like Lilly and Beaufait can really do the work.
5 seconds now on the power play as Kolnick was taken off the puck, and that's shot down the ice. Medrek is there quickly. Lilly bounces him off the plexi, and the Slovaks with Sekerash come up forward. Passed on to the wing, and Kolnick is there. Kolnick. Snow somehow got that beyond Kolnick. A break for the Americans turns into nothing as Crowley thought he was off to the races. He's back on the ice, and the power play has finished. Rink-wide pass. Bounces nicely for Ferraro. Ferraro against Sekerash, going right in, and good move by Medrek at the last moment. Ferraro tried to feed it through, and Medrek sprawled on the ice, tapped it away. Laviolette giving that off to Richards. A lot of this game being spent in the neutral zone. Marchant against Sekerash. Right out front. Johnson was there. Medrek takes a swipe at it. 26, Stasny sees his pass bounce off of Ohorilik's skate. Long shot by 22 Konsek. Johnson slows it down. Stasny stays on him. And the Slovaks go back on the D. Ferraro, a rink-wide pass. Johnson is there. Bacsa stays on him. The net comes off its moorings, but Johnson was off to the races. Bacsa got the stick out and the body.
These are exactly the kind of penalties that the Americans are capable of drawing on teams. They've got good young guys that have got the good burst of speed around the outside. The referee watching that one closely, the net coming off its moorings. Bacsa feeling lucky to get away with that one.
Face-off comes out of the zone because an American knocked the net off its moorings. Richter working with Imes. Imes goes into the corner. A bad pass there. Stasny threw it out front. The grab didn't come from Roberts, and the shot came in from Marcinko. Snow tried to float it away. Roberts can't get a handle on that. A bouncing puck over the red line. Bacsa throws it right back into his own zone. The shadow coming from Campbell and Roberts. The Slovaks with a slow build-up here in the second period. 1 goal apiece. Lazaro and Kolnick are the providers. Some sloppy stuff from the Americans in neutralized territory. Long pass through to Pohorelek. Pohorelek spun out of the play. Imes now picks it up and rattles it off or over the boards. And the Americans seem to be going through a spell where they've lost concentration.
Both teams seem to have lost a little bit here in the last 4 or 5 minutes. The play has gone through a patch where the passes just aren't coming off. The teams are changing quickly, and neither side is really being allowed to get any kind of real offensive threat going against the other.
Over 5,500 people in this rink, and that's a near capacity crowd. Hasak getting a rough ride in the corner. That comes out, and the Slovaks looking to get some shots on nets, and they haven't done that for a while. Right in the circle, you can see how the Americans are closing them down. 22 Konsek unable to get the lumber going, and Snow comes up big. Howard muscles, and eventually gets pushed out of the play, but Konsek got a rough ride in front of that cage.
Great save from Snow. A lot of action coming at him. Body for body, they're banging around right in front of him. Big shot taken. Snow gets the catching glove on it.
Konsek working with Kolnick out there. These two seem to have a nice little understanding between them. 17 saves in the match for Garth Snow so far. The Americans went with Michael Dunham in the first game that they drew against the French. And it's nice to see that Tim Taylor is getting both his goaltenders into the thick of it at the early stages of this competition. Coming up to the final 6 minutes of this period. The pass over from Kolnick, and the Slovaks with Hasak breaking in goal. Back to the trailer, and Snow went down, and the shot didn't come. 28 Kolnick was right in there.
Mark Beaufait with a good job of back checking just to dispossess the player going to the net away from the puck.
Lazaro, a good pass from him, and Laviolette couldn't hang on to it. Now the Slovaks are back on the attack. Fed up by Sekerish. The drop pass come back. Hasak takes a shot, and that goes upstairs. Over to the far side. Sekerish was caught out, and Lilly is there. He's got Lazaro. Lazaro the tip. Is pushed away, and Zvela gets a hit from Lazaro. There's going to be a penalty there.
Both players in a pile. Lazaro taking the head off Zvela. Zvela is trying to find his helmet. Good tough action along the boards. Lazaro going close. The goal scoring opportunity. The pair of them really coming heavily together.
under his right eye, sits for 2 for high sticking. You didn't like that call, did you?
Well, I just thought it was 50-50. I mean, both players had the elbows up, the sticks up. They went down in a pile together. I would have probably tended to overlook that one entirely.
The Americans rattling that down as Smерčák being chased by Johnson. Smерčák has to give it up. Svela pops it up to the blue line. Slovaks on the attack now. János takes it into the corner. Eim stays on him. Eim seems to be the key man on the defense on this penalty-killing support unit out there. Martin pushing and shoving, nothing too serious. But that's not what the Russian referee thinks.
Now he decides to go with one from each team. He's got both thumbs going. Follow me, boys, right to the penalty box. Matt Martin involved in front of the net for the U.S. Players really coming together all over the place. Number 3 having a go here with number 18, Satan, in front of the goal. The referee's arm was already in the air. He's watching all of these guys out there. There's 3 or 4 of them having a good go at each other.
Won the score. Lazaro picking up the goal for the Americans in the first period. Kolnick about 3 minutes later for the Slovaks. Face off now in American territory. 4 minutes 5 seconds. Correction, 5 minutes 5 seconds remaining on the period. Bacsa, Palfi, Bacsa. Stasny moves right in front. A little pop there by Hauer, sends it back, and Petrovichka gets it back onto the blue line. That bobbles out over the blue line, and the race is on. Look at the speed coming from Henriksen. Bacsa comes back to clear it up and bring it up on the right side. Bacsa taps it forward to Stasny. Stasny slams on the brakes. Bacsa is there. Stasny moves in close. Palfi is on the puck. Pushed away, and the Americans have a lot of time, and they're going to take it down the ice. Marchant goes for a skate. Throws it all the way down to Hartmann, who can't reach it. Bobbles into the near corner. The Americans still struggling out there as they try to kill off these penalties. Bacsa got it up. Laviolette sent it back into Slovak territory. Palfi took a hit as he released that puck. Crowley out there throwing his weight around. Bacsa fakes the first pass into the corner and now throws it into the hash marks. Palfi, Bacsa, this guy has got a shot. We didn't really see it on that occasion, but he let the wrist shot go, looking for perhaps a tip or a rebound.
Slovaks spreading the play out, going boards to boards, using Bacsa back at the blue line. He had enough time, got it away quickly. Snow making the save and holding on. Big defenseman Bacsa plays his ice hockey in America, skates with the Milwaukee Admirals in the International League.
From the face-off, that trickles nicely, and the Americans get it out of the zone. Sekerash again, he's got time to shoot, and he does. That bounces right back out front. Drury couldn't get it around and out of the zone. Svela taps it in. Pushed in now by Kolnick. Sutton gets it over. Sekera takes the shot in there. That's number 2. Snow is complaining. Big goal from way back at the blue line.
Slovaks setting it up. The Americans having to go from the right over to the left. The big shot coming from number 7. Sekerash, it finds the back of the net. The Americans screaming to the referee that there was interference around the crease. Svela backing right into Garth Snow.
Svela sitting in the penalty box for interference. And the indication from the rink announcer
is quite obviously no goal.
Face-off moves out into neutral ice territory. Snow had a right to complain. Svella was right in there. It cost him 2, and the Americans now come on the attack. Beaufait along the boards with Ferraro. Beaufait takes a little chop, and that springs out over the blue. A chance now for Hasek. Hasek from a sharp angle. Let that rocket go. Another shot comes in. Hasek really has to be a great find for the Slovaks. This guy is a good two-way player, world class.
He can really let the shot go as well. Did he ever get all of this one? Good, hard, low shot. Gets a piece of the post. Snow thanking his stars on that one.
Face off just outside the blue line, and the Americans have been under pressure this period. So far, no goals. The goal that was just scored has been discounted. Beaufait, Richter, Beaufait throws it up on the left wing. Ferraro taps it around the boards to the far side. Hasek goes in with a big hit. Ferraro reached for that. Beaufait back at the blue. A rink-wide pass was almost a breakaway situation for the Slovaks. It was close, but Beaufait gets it now and taps it forward. Johnson, and a giveaway situation there with the Americans losing the puck deep in Slovak territory. Richter, Johnson has got Ferraro. Sekerash takes a swipe at that, and that goes all the way around, but not out of the zone. The Americans throwing the puck around nicely. Ferraro doesn't really know what to do with it back there on the blue. Taps it in. Wants to do the one-timer from the side of the net. Hartmann moved across. Hasek is there, and he dumps it slowly down the ice.
Americans tried to force the pass through across the goal mouth area. It hit a skate, and the Slovaks able to clear the zone.
Richter throws it up on the right side, and the Americans now breaking quickly. Sacco taps in. Now the Americans again unable to get that shot away. This could be dangerous. Petrovicki fires it up onto the far side. Satin is breaking but can't get a handle on it. 2 seconds on the penalty. Fella's now out of the box. Roberts comes back for the Americans. Roberts hits the slot area, throws it over. Bobbling puck was there. Hartmann had it all the way.
Once again, the Americans working right into the slot, looking for that one last pass. Once that slot is given to you, if you've got the defense backing off like that, let the shot rip, let it go. Let those two guys go for the rebound or get a tip or something. Just drill it. They're really a little bit guilty of holding onto that puck too long and then trying to feather the pass through. It's easy to say when you're up here in the commentary booth, but it's frustrating at times. They've got all the motion going. Finish it off.
I don't think anyone knows that you're an American, so just keep it going.
I'd say the same thing about any team.
18:47 gone on the period, 1-1 the score. And the Slovaks are staying with the big guns. They stayed with the Swedes all the way in the first game, 4-4. And now they're with the Americans. Last minute of play, shot off the boards. That comes out front, and Bachia comes up with it. Up on the wing. Coming back into play is Stasny. Stasny can work wonders with it. Stasny puts it in there. Palfi is there. Palfi taken out of the play. Stasny moves in along with 29, Dano. Palfi, Dano, and Stasny. Stasny now going around, scores! Whoa, Snow went out to get him, and Stasny said, look what I got.
The veteran captain puts the Slovaks into the lead. Palfi leaving the puck off. Two Americans bumping together, allowing Stasny to have some breathing room. He walks right out in front, keeps the puck on the ice, and tucks it just inside the far post. A nice goal for Peter Stasny. Lovely little move by Palfi. He laid it off. It confused the Americans totally as they found themselves running into each other.
1924, the time of the goal for the Slovaks. Richards got it over the far side, and Hauer squeezes it to this side. Hauer again. Some passes behind the net. Right out front, the tip was there. Lilly got a piece of that and almost leveled the score. Hauer along the boards, working with Beaufait, and that comes out, and it could be a sticky situation for the Americans. A one-on-one situation didn't work for the Slovaks. Time for one more shot. That's wide of the target, and there goes the buzzer. Fast finish, exciting finish to the second period. The only goal to come in that period came from the stick of Peter Stastny. Kolnick and Stastny make it 2-1. Lazaro got the only goal for the Americans.
This is a good, close hockey game. We're in for a great finish. 20 minutes of hockey left to play. Both teams really going at it.
Well, both teams are working hard out there. Richard, how do you see the third and final period developing? You got to forget that you're an American right now.
Hey, my hometown's an hour from Lake Placid, New York. It means nothing right now. I still see both teams in it, goal for goal, stride for stride. It's anybody's game. Stastny's goal is the difference right now, but anything can happen. There's still a period of hockey left to play.
Later on this evening, the Canadians take on the French. That should be interesting. Meanwhile, stay with us because we have a third and final period coming up. Come back. We join the action here in the third period. We are live. And in the opening seconds, Palffy had a golden opportunity to extend the Slovaks' lead. Bacsa then came in and ran right at Snow. So things are not going well for the Americans with about 50 seconds gone in this first period, or third period rather.
Some guys have different ways of getting themselves into a period. Bacsa really sticking his neck out there, running over Garth Snow.
Dangerous thing to do. Coming down, Beaufait tries to get it out front. Medržič is there to steer it away. Hasek along the boards, called for icing. 2-1 the score, in case you've just joined us. Lazaro started things off on a power play goal for the Americans at 10:23. 13:55, Kolnick came in for the Slovaks to pop one. The second period, 19:24, Stastny, the master, came out from behind the net, dodged the poke check from Garth Snow, the goaltender, and made it 2-1. That's the way it stands. We are live on Eurosport. 1:10 gone on the period. Sacco is allowed to stay in the face-off circle. János moves in. Kolnick moves in. János outs, and that deflects away, and the Americans have to get back in a hurry to pick it up and throw it in the zone. Hartmann gets a stick to that. Sekerash now for the Slovaks up on the wing. Some clutching and grabbing, but Hasek gets away from that. Medržič working with Sekerash. Sekerash tips it away. Sacco unable to get a stick on it. Hauer away from Hasek. Kontsek tipped it over. Brought in by Hasek, and offside is the call as Kolnick moves in just to survey the situation.
First shift of the period started out on fire again, but now both teams have gone right back into close checking. Look at David Sacco taking a rest on the bench, brother of Joe Sacco. He's been impressive in Toronto training camp, and maybe he'll have a place after the Olympic Games.
Imes behind his own red line. Imes again. The pass, second time, is missed, and the Slovaks go on the attack. Snow goes down. Another shot. 1, 2, 3 shots. The last one coming from Sutton. Ferraro racing for this against Smrčák. Hartmann out there. Hartmann has lost his stick. Smrčák wants to get rid of the puck in a hurry. Hartmann will go out and pick up a stick. Martin drops it back. Imes gives it back to Martin. Long pass is stopped by Svella. Smrčák on this side, and Svella waits for the players to get onside and throws it in. Martin slowly up to Johnson. Johnson looking for Lilly. Lilly's shot deflects off of Bacsa, and that goes high, and we'll have a face-off. John Lilly, who picked up his one and only goal in the first game against France. Quite an aggressive forechecker for the Americans. Not a big guy, 5'8", 178 pounds. Crowley backhands it right out front. Ferraro tried to spin around and hit it. That didn't work for the Americans, and coming back on the attack is Palfi. Dano could do the wraparound. It comes right in front, and Beaufait picks it out of the crease. Dano just didn't have room to move. Lazaro let go a rocket that rebounded off the plexi. Beaufait intercepts that. He's got Lilly on the wing. Beaufait drops it back. Lilly was the intended receiver on that, and here come the Slovaks. Dano whistles that over. Stasny is there. And both teams are picking up the pace here. Beaufait comes back in the action. Great pass by Beaufait. And Lazaro working on the wrong wing, tried to twist round and get the shot away and missed the far post. Crowley wants it on this side. Big shot again. And both teams are testing the goaltenders from a distance. Hasek lets that one ride. Knocked down there by Sacco. Sacco gives it off to number 11, Ryan Rolston. Some good back-checking, or forechecking rather, by Kolnick. Pushed forward by Konsek. And Medržič has to golf that out of the zone. Puck's flying from all over. Sekeraš calls for it and gets it on the wing. Sekeraš, a good pass in. And the Slovaks will complete their change. Oh, where was Snow? It's the magic man, Hasek. Snow again goes out with that stick and comes up with nothing.
This is an area that the Americans need to take a serious look at. More than once they've been caught with the goaltender and the defenseman not really know who is doing what on the ice. Snow out in no man's land. The puck going off the skate of Hasek into the net. The Americans screaming that it went in off a skate. Hasek there to defend his case. The referee has said no goal. It will stand.
Once again, the Americans get away with it. Two to 1 is the score. And both Hasek and Hartmann have been caught at times doing the wrong thing. A moment ago, Hartmann lost his stick. Or Snow, rather. And Hartmann went out, lost his stick. On this occasion, Snow lost his way.
It's tough when these puck boards are that lively. You just can't take it for granted what's going to happen. If it clearly goes around, the goalie can get out and stop it. That's one thing. But if not, stay out of the way. Let your defenseman do the work.
Sekeraš had one canceled in the second period. Now it's Hasek's turn to have one canceled. It could be a 4-1 ball game out there.
Penalty on the play to the Americans. The Slovaks will go on to the power play.
From the draw, the Slovaks with Svella. Svella pushing it over to Sutton. Holding is the call on Hauer. And he sits for two. More pressure against the Americans. Petrovicki let the shot go from close in. And a chance now for Campbell. Campbell could take it to the blue, and that's going to be an offside.
Slovaks continue to impress the way that they move the puck around to the outside and just really get things going for themselves. The Americans are a big, quick team, and the Slovaks are proving that they can skate with them and anybody. We saw it against the Swedes. The Slovakian team is for real, and they're going to be in the Pool C World Championships. It just doesn't seem right.
They qualified for this competition by winning the pre-Olympic tournament in Sheffield in August of '93. And they certainly outclassed everyone in the competition. A chance now for Marchand. Marchand going for the pass. Sutton takes his man out of the play as that bobbles around to the near side of the rink. All the way back, and the Americans, Marchand can't hang on to it. Marchand calls for it, gets it behind the net. Petrovici goes after his man, and Smerchak is there bringing his man, Petrovici rather, brings his man down. Smerchak a moment ago brought his man down. Penalty coming up, and a lot of slashing, hooking, tripping out there. Roughing is the call. Boy, it could have been any number of things.
That's not a good penalty for the Americans to take at all. That's a breakdown of discipline. Martin not happy with the call, but I'm sure that Tim Taylor is even less happy with Matt Martin.
5:51 the time of the penalty. So the Americans with two men in the box now. Petrovici all over Martin.
Petrovici doing a good job of taking Marchand off the puck. Then he took Martin out of the play. Martin reacted with a punch. A careless penalty given up there by the Americans.
Bachia. Bachia slows it down, and the Americans out there with two men in the box, the Slovaks with one, and offside is the call. Despite all the goals that have been scored, the score is still only 2-1. As I said, the Slovaks have had two called back. Sekerash and Hasak face off now just outside the American zone. That comes up on the wing, and Marcinko throws it over to the far side. Slovakia now setting it up slowly. Palfi rattles that off the boards. Snow goes out to get it, and it goes the other way. Stasny couldn't hang on to that. Hartmann goes for a skate, gives it to Bachia. Long pass is too far for Stasny. Laviolette rattles that one off the boards. Palfi, who does a lot of skating for this Slovakian team, gets it along the blue to Bachia. Svella fakes the shot. Svella lets it go. That hit a defenseman. Another one, they score!
Hauer and Hasak had just returned to the ice. Martin had a minute left on his penalty. The Slovakians have taken the lead. The Americans trying to get it set up. 5-on-4 now. Big shot coming from the blue line. The first attempt is blocked. The second one isn't. Svella sends it home. The Slovakians out to a 3-1 lead now.
Never say die. Svella gets another bite of the cherry. Power play goal at 6:58.
Both teams had just returned one man. Martin was still in the box. The Slovakians have struck. The Americans are really up against it now.
Lilly to the far side. Hartmann makes the save. Another whistle on the plate. And some excellent hockey, some excellent playmaking out there by the Slovaks. Coach Julius Sulpler really has done his homework. He's put together a fine team. He was hoping to have both Ed Seeger and Peter Bondra from the National Hockey League when I spoke to him in Sheffield, but I think that was said that before, and I'll say it again. He was dreaming. Peter Bonner. Yeah, we'll just let him go for a couple of weeks, no problem. Guy's not doing much for us. Seeger, yeah. Lilly now. Bad pass by Lilly, and the Americans get it in the zone. That flips high, and we'll have another face-off. Americans got a fast skating team, but don't seem to be able to make their shots count. They really did struggle against the French. They really outplayed the French, and they should have won the game, but on the scoreboard it was 4 apiece.
They skate very hard. They're certainly a fit team. Tim Taylor has made the comments that this team has more offensive ability than the 92 team did. They're going at it, but they're not finishing their plays off, as you said, Paul.
Janos tapped that back deep, and it's shot all the way down the ice. Hauer will chase it. The goaltender gives it to Hauer. Off the back, and the Americans are losing it in their own zone. Some good stuff from Dano. Petrovicki pushed in close, and Petrovicki is there, turning everyone inside out. That comes all the way back to the blue. Long shot goes in. Smерchak got a piece of it. And some physical stuff as Petrovicki starts to muscle. Hauer throws his weight around, and this is usually when the Americans start to lose it. They trail by a couple of goals, third period. They could come back, but they lose it through penalties. They really have to forget about the dirty stuff and just play some hockey out there if they want to get back into this game.
I like the way Petrovicki plays hockey. He's got good moves, and he's not shy to take a bump. He's in the corner going at it, came right to the front of the net and got involved again. This guy really knows how to get stuck in.
QIWI gives some instructions before he moves into the circle. Stasny is his opposite number. Stasny trying to whip around and take the shot. Laviolette ties his man up, and that comes to the hash marks. Crowley got it round. The Americans now on the attack. Drury shot. Drury has got the explosive shots.
Ted Drury has done an excellent job of rehabilitating himself from an injury. He had a damaged kneecap in December, and here we are the second week of February, and the guy is back on the ice, member of the 92 Olympic team. Just your average Harvard boy, Paul.
Stasny stays out there. 8:13 gone on the period. Still a long way to go as that's pushed through center. Baccia delivers that to the far side. QIWI goes after Baccia. Everyone hitting everyone, so Stasny says, I'll take the puck. Big chop there. Stasny looking to wrap it around again. Throws it right in front of the net. Kolnick was just a little too far forward. The tap up by Roberts, and here comes Drury. Drury elects to pepper it around the boards. Marcinko took his man out of the play. The Americans now with Marchin popping it in off the plexi. Drury is there. Drury looking for Rolston. That goes off the side, and the Americans have it right back at the D. Marchin again peppers it in. Baccia goes after his man. Loose puck picked up by 29 Dano. He feeds it up. Laviolette goes after Palffy. Palffy can't get a handle on it. Rolston takes over the back-checking duties. Palffy is there, tries to feed it through. Loose puck right in front, and the Americans somehow come up with a puck and get it out of the zone.
At this point in the game, the Slovakians are looking a lot quicker than the Americans. Palffy and Hasek once again creating a lot of problems for the U.S. defensemen.
Well, once again, the Russian referee gets into the thick of it. Dano goes to the penalty box.
Dano not happy with the way he was being treated by the Americans. Had a few words of wit for the Russian referee, who didn't waste any time in putting his hands up to his hips.
The score. The Slovaks are leading this one. Dano unsportsmanlike. He got a roughing penalty initially and then unsportsmanlike to add to that.
That's a costly penalty for the Slovakians. The Americans are going to have a power play for a while here. Good opportunity for the U.S. to get back into this game.
Coming on the right side now, the American Roberts slams on the brakes but couldn't take the puck with him. Richter, long pass up the middle. Campbell taken out of the play along the boards, again unable to take the puck with him. Sacco tried to slow it down and that didn't work, so the Americans go back. This is the opportunity they should make the most of. Hasak forechecking for the Slovaks, and Hasak is out there trying to get this one free. Roberts gets back, 10 against 10, and Roberts came up with a puck. Kolnick, Svella, and that's lobbed all the way down to the American goalie's doorstep, and the Americans have to start it up again. Sacco in the corner, throws it back. And again, not a great play from the Americans. They keep the puck in the zone, but they really are telegraphing their stuff out there, and it's not very imaginative. Sacco just threw it back. There was no one there to pick it up.
You need two guys on the puck when you've got the man advantage. They're allowing the Slovaks to take it off them and then just easily clear it.
Ferraro loses control and throws it around looking for Johnson. On the far side of the rink, Satin not a great power play from the Americans' point of view. Ferraro now goes up against Smерchak. No shots on goal so far. Crowley wants to face off in deep.
I think if I were Tim Taylor, I'd be looking to get some new troops out there. The guys just don't seem organized. They're ready to go right now. They've got the man advantage for a long period of time. This is the golden opportunity that they've been looking for to get back into it.
Off deep in Slovak territory. Bacha elects to drive that high, and he almost put that right into his own bench. Do that all over again.
Slovaks still on top, 3-1.
Marchants moves into the face-off circle.
And then moves out just as quick.
Why? Johnson took the face-off. That bobbles along the boards, and here come the Slovaks. And Johnson gets back on Stasny. Crowley about to move in there. Stasny getting it up high. That's going to cost them. Johnson still lying on the ice. Stasny is upset. He got some rough treatment after the whistle blew.
Johnson is down and hurt. He really got that one from Stasny. Two players coming together. Johnson holding him up with the stick. The puck is between them. Stasny's stick just carries on through. I'd have to say it was accidental myself. I think that Stasny was just trying to turn to go away. But it doesn't matter, accidental or not, if the stick is up high. That is an automatic penalty now in hockey. Player does not have to be cut. If the stick is up high and it makes contact, the referee will call the penalty all the time now.
I think you're right. He was trying to bring the stick over. He wasn't even looking in that direction. Five minutes is the call for high sticking. Stasny will speak to this guy in any language that he wants. He's going to let his point be known. And you're right, that could hurt the Slovaks. They got a 2-goal lead. And Taylor is giving instructions down on the beach, or down on the bench rather. I'm thinking beach already, and it's still in the middle of the winter.
You still got a few weeks for spring break, Paul.
I know. Stasny not happy with that call at all. High sticking. Well, it looks like they've just added a roughing penalty to that to make it 7 minutes.
Tim Taylor's going to have to get his calculator out to figure out what he's got here. Dano is in the box for roughing and unsportsmanlike conduct. He will not come back onto the ice until 13-14. He's still got, well, a lot of time left on his penalties, and now Stasny is in there for high sticking at 11-11, and he's been added with another 2 minutes on top of the 5-minute high stick call. The Americans are going to have to capitalize here.
Stasny will probably come out sometime in the spring.
If I were the Slovakians management, I'd be rubbing the legs down of the boys left on the bench, because they're going to be doing some skating.
There's the 7-minute penalty to Stasny. 2:04 remaining to Dano. The Slovak fans are not happy. The Americans are saying USA, USA. This is building into a great finish. Five-on-3 out there. Let's see what the Slovaks can do. Hasak has to be one of those men, and he golfs it down the ice. There's the time ticking down on the top of your screen. The Americans now throw it in. Beaufait being shadowed by Hasak. Pumps it over to the near side. Some good pressure from the Slovaks. A rink-wide pass. A chance to shoot. Do they take it from the side of the net? It's right there. Hartmann goes down. Hasak right in the crease. Chivabaglia tries to hold on to his man as that comes back to Sacco. Sacco throws it to the far side. Big shot in there, and that deflects away. Robert's got a piece of it. Some time being taken as Beaufait, Sacco work well together. That comes through. The shot comes in, and that trickles into the corner. Lilly tried to get a handle on it. Hasak is fighting out there. 1:04 in 6 minutes. Big shot comes in. Hartmann goes down. All the way back to the blue. Another chance. Roberts pumps it in front. The shot, the goal is knocked off its moorings. And the officials say no goal, no penalty. The Americans want a delay of game penalty out there for deliberately knocking the net off its moorings. Let's watch this again.
Americans just can't buy a goal. They're moving the puck around nicely. Sacco and Roberts have been out high. They both had shots. That is the save of the day by Hartmann on the deflector glove. That looked like a sure goal.
Svella moved in quickly. And nothing is going right for the Americans. Ferraro is out there now, Petrovicki. But what about this guy, Otto Hasek? What a good player, two-way player. The guy can score goals, and he can also prevent them.
He'll be right back out. He'll get a rest. Petrovicki will go back off, and Hasek will be back on.
Good save by Laviolette. Marchant from the slot. Laviolette back to Marchant. The Americans standing around. They need some motion out there. They're not getting into good positions. Laviolette lets a shot go, and that deflects high. A big chop in there. Ralston feeds it over. Stupid hockey. I'm sorry. The Americans, why do they need to slash? They got a 5-on-3, a big chop out there. There's no motion. These guys are just stationary, throwing the puck around. They're not creating the opportunities for themselves. And now Marchand has a penalty.
guy that can skate like this guy can certainly doesn't need to start coasting and whacking with the stick. Big two-hander. It's stick on stick, but it doesn't matter. The referee is going to be about 3 feet away from the play, and he's going to call that every time.
Why slash? 3 Americans within a few feet of each other. No possession for the Slovaks. So Marcin goes for slashing, and that makes it a little easier for the Slovaks. Zvela against Ferraro. Zvela hits the boards, but can only get it out as far as La Violette. Behind the goal, 4-on-3, Petrovicki peppers it off the backboards. That goes to Svela. Along the boards, and the Americans just dump it in. They're not setting it up. They're not playing good hockey. Sekerash finds an opening and punches it down. Some great stuff coming from the Slovaks. The first penalty makes it 4-on-4. Long pass up to the red line. The Americans now with an offside call. Ferraro over the blue line.
It'll be 4-on-4 for a while, but the Americans will go back to another power play situation as there's still just under 5 minutes left on the major penalty to Peter Stastny.
One of the differences in the power plays between the Americans and, say, the Slovaks or the Swedes or whatever is when the Swedes, the Slovaks, the Russians get it, there's a lot more movement. These guys get the puck and they stand there with the puck instead of moving around, getting a bit of rotation. That's the only way you're going to get these guys who are defending to move and possibly move out of position. Hauer at the second attempt loses it. A chance now for the Slovaks. The shot comes in, slow goes down.
It's not just movement, it's also a question of patience. Not every team has got a hack and lube on their side that knows when to give the puck up, when to hold it, and can still keep moving all the time. The Americans just look shaky right now. They're giving the puck away unnecessarily. A lot of these guys are young, but they've been through it before. If they can get one goal back now, this will be an interesting finish because I think they'll really start pumping again.
A moment ago, Любомир went in looking for the rebound that didn't come from Snow. Boffe picks himself up. Hasek moves out of the circle. Kolnick, that goes into the corner. And Marcin comes up quickly. Marcin, stick handling, being checked. Marcin doing some great work in the corner. And we're going to have another penalty. Crowley is down. Marchant still sitting in the box. Marcin out on the ice. Let's watch this again.
Bachia going into the corner. Crowley comes in. Bachia, a pretty good-sized guy, gets a good piece of Crowley. Crowley, I think, went straight down. I would have to say his face went into the ice. He's getting up slowly. He's dazed, shaking his head. Bachia sending him straight down into the ice.
Bachia is big and powerful. Crowley is still looking a little groggy out there. Elbowing is the call.
You always make me commit myself on these. You're shaking your head this time, Paul. You tell the nation and the world what you think of that call.
It's a 2-minute call to the Slovaks. Stastny is still in there. I got to get out my abacus and try to work out who's doing what out there. Stastny, Marchant, Bachia comes all the way back to the blue. What can the Americans do now? Petrovicki, Sekerash, Roberts. Long pass, bounces off a skate. Sacco. Still with Sacco, fanned on the first one. Roberts has a chance to shoot, throws it to the far side. And some good stuff from Svela. Boffe unable to get the shot beyond Svela. Svela again, the tip there. Chiavaglia positioned on that post. Svela went down, and this time he was beaten. Chiavaglia was there to beat Hartmann.
It's been a long time coming, but we'll see what this goal can do for the Americans. The puck moved around nicely, 4-on-3. Chivaglia in front of the goal. Does a nice job of just getting his stick on it. The Americans in a diamond situation. 1-2-1. The touch is there from Chivaglia.
Patience pays off. We were talking about that earlier on. They had a little more movement there, and they threw the puck around. Watch the tip.
It was definitely the right way to go. They had the Slovakians moving. They had a man out high, two guys in the off slot. Chivaglia positioned in front of the goal. Both getting it across nicely. The Americans right back in it.
Bokharov is having words with the timekeeper.
Taylor yelling for Peter. That means Laviolette to get over. Laviolette, the captain, having a word, or trying to anyways. A delay of game penalty being called. The Americans are not happy campers right now.
The Russian referee is calling everything in sight. Laviolette continues to discuss this with the officials. Bench minor at 14:23.
Sorry to say, you've got a 3-2 hockey game on your hands. I know I sound like a broken record, and I'm not the greatest supporter of referees at times, but you've got to have discretion on situations like this. It doesn't matter whether you're American, Canadian, whatever the heck you are. That is a dodgy call to make at this point in the game.
Bench minor, delay of game. Henriksen sits in the penalty box to serve the 2-minute penalty. And I kind of agree with you.
Kind of. I still want you to be my local MP, the way you commit yourself to things.
Sekerash pushes it back. Hasak from the red line drops it back to Sekerash. He taps it over. Long shot is deflected away, and the Americans will get a man back on the ice. Shot, Svella, Snow.
That wasn't an easy shot for Snow to hold on to. He kept good control of the puck. Hasak once again camped out right in front of him. This guy is just not easy to move. He really hangs around the front of the net, and the defensemen really struggle with him.
So Marchant comes back on the ice now after his 2-minute penalty for slashing. But Henriksen is still in there for delay of the game. Bachia for elbowing. Face-off deep in American territory. That's pushed away, and the Americans now started up. Crowley pass up on the right wing. Ferraro guns for Marchant at center. Over to the far side, Svella. The pass. Svella was right on his man. The Americans apply some more pressure right in front. Hartmann was down. And 28 Kolnick squeezes it over to the far side, and Hasak picks it up. Kolnick and Hasak move down together. Dropped over to Kolnick. The shot deflected high, and that'll be another face-off. Both teams counter quickly. The Americans went down, and what looked to be a routine shot bounced out favorably for the Americans, and then Kolnick and Hasak start down the other way and create a few problems for the goaltender.
Kolnick and Hasak are very good with the give and goes and the drop passes to each other. The American defensemen did exactly the right thing there. They made Kolnick take the shot at the blue. Americans got a piece of it, sending it out of any kind of danger.
Lazaro beats Sutton to the draw. And the Americans look a little more confident. They look like there's a sense of urgency in their play as they work down on the far side. Marcinko up against Richter. From in front, Baccia has lost it. Palfi circles. Good little pass up on the wing. Satin to Palfi. And some good defensive stuff from the Americans as Hauer gathers that. Brett Hauer, a burst of speed to get away from Palfi. The second man, Drury. Drury with a chance. That's a shot. Scores! Drury or Lilly. Lilly puts his hands in the air. Lilly with a shot from a sharp angle levels the score. Boy, has this one turned around.
The Americans with a lot more offensive strength going their way after the second goal, applying a lot of pressure on the Slovakians. This time Lilly gets it away quick. Hartmann looks handcuffed. Lilly around the outside, just inside the circle, gets a quick snapshot off. Hartmann doesn't make the most of it. It goes just inside the post. The score is now level at 3. The Americans are celebrating.
.53. A lot of time remaining in this one. Penalties playing a major role out there.
Because of the major penalty to Stasny, the Slovaks are still short-handed on a 5-minute penalty. Even if the other team scores, you remain short-handed.
Hasek goes in. Crowley stays with him, puts his hands up, says, I didn't do anything. Laviolette gets it up quickly, but not far enough. Snow well out of his net. On this occasion, he gets it right. Ferraro breaks down one side. Coming back is Campbell. And Campbell hooked up at the blue line. The Slovaks go right back on the offensive. Marchant now, 2 seconds, 1 second on the American penalty. Hendrickson steps back on the ice. He was serving a 2-minute bench minor for delay of the game. Stasny is still in there. A long clearance. Drury flips it up. Slams on the brakes. Sekera stays with him. Roberts rattles that off the boards. The Americans now looking a lot stronger than they did in the first 2 periods. Roberts tips it over. Chiavaglia. Long pass back to Roberts. The shot comes in. The rebound comes out. Petrovitsky got a piece of it and sent it sailing. A sense of urgency out there for the Americans as they continue to pile on the pressure. Lilly, a long pass, not controlled well by the Americans. Some good checking there by Sacco as he took a high stick in the face. Play continues, 48 seconds on the power play. And Roberts, who's played strongly on the D, throws it up on the left side. Marcinko got in the way of that, but only for a moment. Petrovitsky, Hasek takes a swipe at it. Can't get it out. He's double-teamed along the boards. Rolston takes the shot. It's right in the crease. Oh, big hit by Baccia, well and truly after the whistle blew. This one has caught fire.
Rolston quickly getting into the play as well. He let the slap shot go. Another good save by Hartmann. Americans all around the front of the net. The Russian referee with his paper and pencil out again. Hasek wanting to know Drury. I don't think they're talking about the summer holidays here.
Drury, who joined the team at the last moment and who also played on the '92 Olympic team, will go to the penalty box. This is going to cost him even more if he doesn't go into the box. Suppler looks up at the clock, and both teams are going to be penalized on this one. Roughing for Theodore Drury. Ted to his friends.
Sure, he'd appreciate you calling him Theodore. A look at the action. Drury going in on that rebound. Baccia pounding Drury into the boards, and Hasek coming right in to make his point as well. Drury probably doing the smarter thing of the two, going after Hasek rather than Baccia. Baccia's a little bit bigger, and it's also a good situation for the Americans, because if they had to pick a guy they'd like to get off the ice, it'd have to be Hasek. He's been a problem for them the whole game.
Let's look at this again. Rolston winds up, takes the big shot. Now here's where it all starts. Hartmann has got it, but Drury doesn't know that. He wants to keep it moving. Bachia says, no way, I'm going to move you out of there.
Hartmann keeping his concentration. That's a good job by the goaltender to hold on to the puck. Drury trying to get away with one here. He pays the price. He'll have 2 minutes to rest, but he's joined in the box by Hasek, number 10. That's a penalty that evens itself right out. Both guys going to the box for roughing at 17:42.
You're exactly right there where you say the Americans come off best on this one, because Hasek has got to be the top player on the Slovak side, and he's going to sit for 2. So it could virtually take him out of the game. They'll come out with just 18 seconds remaining. Stasny will be out in a few seconds. Laviolette gets it over. The shot comes in. Marchant was camped right on the doorstep, waiting for it to come his way. Still the Americans. The shot, the goal is knocked off its moorings. Hartmann went down right in the crease. Svella right on his knees beside the net. And again, the Americans come so close to taking the lead.
I hate to sound biased, but you got to question why that goal keeps coming off its moorings so quickly now. I would say the same thing if it was at the other end of the ice as well, Paul. I don't want to hear it from you.
I believe you, but I'm sure millions of our viewers wouldn't, folks. But nevertheless, it comes off its moorings. And we go back into the face-off situation deep in the Slovak zone. 17:54 is the time. 3-3 is the score. Laviolette moves into the top of the circle. He's got the good shot. Marchant is kicked out. Johnson takes over. Johnson gets it back. Laviolette fakes the first one, lets the second one go and misses the shot. Ferraro along the boards. Ferraro casually came after that and took his eye off the puck, and now it's out of the zone. Palffy comes in. Marchant is there to defend, and Johnson is there, but the goaltender comes up with the puck. Palffy, the danger man. Stasny back on the ice. And that'll be a relief for Coach Julius Suppler.
He's been in the box for what probably seems like a lifetime to him, 7 minutes.
5+2 for Stasny. High sticking and roughing. Back to the top of the circle, a chance. Smерchak lets a shot go, and that bobbles. Stasny puts it right through the crease, the backhander, and Snow was scrambling across the crease and really was totally out of the play. A shot comes in and rains into the corner. Stasny pumps it right back out again. And what a difference Stasny has made to this team. He won the draw, and he's skating all around, putting the puck into scoring positions. Boy, Snow was down and out for a long time.
Stasny, fresh out of the box, wins the draw straight away. That's scary. Immediately gets back into the play. They almost score a goal. If Snow's ever owed anybody a beer, it's Hendrickson and Hauer right now. They were sprawling around in front of the goal and kept that puck out of the net.
Snow looked like he was stuck in the mud as he crawled across the crease. Another big face-off. Stasny knows exactly what he wants to do. Stasny on this occasion is grabbed by Sacco.
Sacco doing the right thing there. Don't give him any chances.
Crawley feeds it to the far side. 3-3 is the scoreline. The clock is ticking down. Both teams working hard to pull out a victory. That comes out, and the Americans now with a golden opportunity, trying to wrap it around. Running out of steam, running out of places to go. 1 minute now on the clock. Palffy takes the shot, and that ricochets off the plexi. 3 seconds on the coincidental penalties, and the Americans still unable to get it out of the zone. Everyone looking to go down the rink, and the Slovaks knew that they were going to keep it in. The net knocked off its moorings. Lazaro was already headed down the ice. The Americans are going to have to be careful about that.
Stasny having a quick word with the referee to see if he could get a penalty for the net coming off. It's a bit of a cheeky decision by Stastny to even ask after he's seen his own net come off about 12 times in the last 10 minutes. It's all go around the front of the net, body sprawling all over the place. The Americans desperate not to let that puck come to the front of the goal.
This really has been a great game, a big finish. The Americans started it off with Lazaro. Kolnick leveled it. Marchant goes into the face-off circle now, and the Americans get it back. Snow pushes it off the boards, and that's tipped all the way down to Svella at the red line. Svella quickly dumps it in. Petrovitsky takes a hit from behind by Hauer, and the Americans get it out. Beaufait has it bobble off his clothing. Svella took him out of the play, and Svella has to go deep. Beaufait now is held up on the play. Going in quickly is 14, Johnson. Svella turns around, long pass. Watch the Slovaks try to thread the eye of the needle. 10 seconds on the clock. Hauer in there. Dano chops it into the corner. 5-5-5 is what they're calling. And the Americans will be happy with the draw. Long shot down. Hartmann makes a save. There goes the buzzer. After 60 minutes of hockey, it's a 3-3 game. And still, the officials have to keep these players apart. Richter and Snow have words. Richter cooling down after that one. The Slovaks with 2 goals disallowed. Very unlucky not to win this. And then at the end, penalties took their toll.
Both teams playing hard enough to win, but a draw certainly isn't bad. It would have been bad to see either team lose the way they finished.